This morning, one person in the hospital with burn injuries after this apartment fire in Forest Ranch. It happened just before 8:30 last night in the 17,000 block of Alba Road, some condominiums there. The cause of this fire is under investigation right now. We'll keep you posted on any updates here. It is 6 a.m. on this Monday. Hope you had a nice weekend, everyone. So glad you're with us. I'm Eric Connors.
And I'm Neda Iranpour. And let's see what the forecast is going to be like as we start a new week. Meteorologist Evan Arani here. So many people are leaving town, but also so many coming in.
I bet. With the temperatures that I've seen.
We deal with both. I'd say it's going to be better for people to come in to San Diego, considering other parts of the country today are going for triple-digit heat and will be for a good portion of the week. We are going to take on a gradual warming trend, but our warming trend only takes us to the 70s out by the coast, the 80s inland. So good morning, everyone. We just wrapped up a gorgeous weekend. The weekend that we just wrapped up brought temperatures only to the upper 60s out by the coast, the 70s inland. We saw the morning marine layer. We saw a breeze as well. All of that is going to continue for today and tomorrow. Upper 60s out by the water, upper 70s inland, dense marine layer out there for now, but we will get that midday sunshine and really mid-morning sunshine on hand. Coming up, we'll talk more about that 7-day forecast and on our warming trend as we head through the week. We'll also take a glimpse at what to expect across the country today. Back to you.
All right, Evan, thank you so much. And now this morning, a search and recovery operation underway for a Marine who disappeared. He was serving aboard the San Diego-based amphibious transport dock ship, the USS Anchorage.
The Marine was last seen on Thursday. News 8's Tori Apodaca live near Naval Base San Diego with what his family is saying here. Tori?
Yeah, his family is just desperate for him to be found. That Marine is from Richfield, Minnesota, which is just south of Minneapolis. They held a vigil for him over the weekend as they are just praying for answers.
We need justice.
Que lo encuentren.
We need him to be found.
Si Dios quiere otra cosa, lo necesitamos ver físicamente.
We need to see him physically.
Para decirle gracias por su servicio que dio a los Estados Unidos.
To tell him thank you for your service.
You can really just hear the emotion in their voices there. Family of the Marine have identified him as Lance Corporal Armando Ortiz Canseco. You can see photos of him here. The Navy says he went missing at around 1:20 a.m. Thursday during an integrated training exercise as he was serving aboard the San Diego-based amphibious transport dock ship USS Anchorage, the 13th Marine Expeditionary Unit based out of Camp Pendleton. After around 43 hours of search and rescue efforts, the Navy transitioned to search and recovery mode at around 9 p.m. Friday. Crews from the Navy, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, and Air Force have all been part of this massive search, looking around 2,400 square miles using 3 surface ships and 12 aircraft. And at this time, the Navy is not releasing any details surrounding the circumstances of his disappearance as they continue the search for him. Reporting live in San Diego, Tori Apodaca, News 8.
Oh, that sound. A new video here showing a baby and his mother being rescued after being found alive in the rubble. The baby, days after the earthquakes in Venezuela. So the death toll now topping more than 1,400 people. Tens of thousands of people are still reported missing. People are rushing to send resources, including from here in San Diego. Donations are being collected at Chula Vista's Bayside Park, right near the Gaylord Resort, starting at 10 a.m. They are accepting items like diapers and hygiene products. They're going to need a lot to recover here. Meantime, Padres player Fernando Tatis Jr.'s foundation says he is donating $100,000 to earthquake relief efforts.
So much damage and destruction there. The 4th of July travel rush has apparently already started. Today expected to be one of the busiest days at San Diego International.
People talk about a head start, right? This is where we find News 8's Chris Groh with tips for travelers. Chris, what are you noticing so far this morning?
Yeah, good morning, guys. Oftentimes when we come in, to the airport to go ahead and see that holiday travel season, especially here in the summer, you see that initial rush at that 5:30 live shot. And things have sort of died down here. If you take a look here behind me, we're at Terminal 2 departures, a much less chaotic scene than that travel rush that we saw build up there between 5 and 5:30 in the morning. So 6 a.m. again, not too bad here. But this is expected to be a busy couple of days here, starting yesterday all the way till July 6th. Nearly 800,000 passengers are expected to travel through San Diego International Airport Daily passenger volume projected to reach 90,000 each day. And the busiest days are expected to be today, Thursday, and Monday, July 6th, when everyone either makes their return back home or comes on here back to San Diego. Now, this is some footage that we took earlier today that highlights exactly how busy it can get for those first initial flights when everyone gets here early. Of course, the best advice that we can give you is to continue to check the airport's website for the parking garage to see if there might be a space. Remember, you have to make a reservation in advance, but if you have to have a friend or a family member or a rideshare drop you off, that's okay too. Just make sure that you try to get here a little bit earlier than you're used to, just because, as we've seen, sometimes when you have this type of rush, we can see those security lines build up, and again, people start to complain that they are running a little bit late, if you will, and cutting it close to their flight departure time, I should say. Coming up here in just about a half hour, we'll go inside. We'll show you exactly what it is that security lines look like here just inside of Terminal 2 departures. Back to you guys.
Chris, thank you for that. AAA saying most travelers are expected to drive. They expect the busiest time on the road will begin Thursday. Today, the worst time to drive is between 2 and 6 p.m. The best time is before noon.
This morning, 2 children are recovering from severe burns after a backyard s'mores gathering in Oceanside ended with a frightening flash fire. So listen to this. Firefighters say a small tabletop fireplace erupted, igniting the children's clothes on Saturday night. Both were airlifted to a regional burn center. One of their fathers suffered minor burns while rushing to save the kids. Investigators say the device was apparently fueled with rubbing alcohol. In 2024, the Consumer Product Safety Commission warned this product can trigger explosive flash fires and urged consumers to stop using them after a deadly incident. Oh, that's scary. And now this morning, a Fallbrook father of 2 is in custody after pleading guilty to using his children to help distribute psilocybin mushrooms. Randall Vance pleaded guilty to several charges related to the conspiracy in federal court on Friday. In the plea, Vance admitted to dosing 2 of his sons with the hallucinogen daily. At the time, they were just 9 and 11 years old. Vance says he later gave a third son, age 12, psilocybin capsules to sell to his friends. Sentencing is now set for September 18th.
This morning, local officials are warning San Diego surfers about a string of car thefts happening just after they hit the water. The Regional Auto Theft Task Force says suspects, sometimes disguised as fishermen, watch surfers hide their keys, then steal their cars and go on shopping sprees using stolen credit cards. This is some of the thousands of dollars in merchandise investigators recently recovered. Authorities have also recovered stolen vehicles and keys and believe there may be even more victims. Yeah, you got to watch out for those keys.
Yeah,
they got
really.
different pockets now that you can use
tuck them into your wetsuit. There's in your shorts. Yeah, there's always some tucked away things
Don't
on
do
your
the
body.
old school thing of throwing it on the tire.
No, they
Not
know
these
to
days.
check that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's always tough. It's like people just want to go out and have a good time.
Yeah, right,
Every
right.
time they do it, you got to be so aware of everyone in San Diego. So 6:08 right now. Hopefully you can still get outside, enjoy the beach. Just be safe when you do it. Hide your belongings. This is another live look that we have outside from Mount Soledad, showing off how those skies are already starting to break apart. Overcast for the last about hour or so. Sunrise was about 30 minutes ago, and now we've got just a little bit of blue peeking through. So a very nice start to the day. Temperatures mostly in the 60s. 8:01 is sunset, enjoying a nice long duration for our day. Remember, we're only losing a few seconds of day length each day, which means that we'll be able to enjoy those days well over 14 hours from sunrise to sunset for at least another month or so. Current temperatures out the door, 63 in Del Mar, 59 in Ramona, 54 in Alpine. Got some 40s out there. Julian's in the 40s, could even be a degree away from 30s. Mount Laguna right now is at 48 degrees. We did have a little bit of a cool weekend that we just wrapped up, and it looks like we'll start off the week in a cooler than normal fashion as well. We even broke some temperature records, meaning we saw the coolest afternoon highs we've seen for June 28th in Ramona, Anaheim, San Jacinto. Ramona got to 74 degrees. That set a new record, or at least tied a previous record. Anaheim only got to 74 degrees. The previous record was 75 in 2010, so we dropped down by an additional degree yesterday, making for the coolest afternoon high. Wind is still going to be something to watch for this afternoon. It's not as concerning as it was to end last week. We saw a wind advisory that was in effect that has now expired, but we are still going to get up to the 40s in Borrego Springs and off toward our coastline and inland between about 15 and 20 miles per hour. We're holding on to the cooler temperatures, more mild conditions today through Wednesday, and then for Thursday, Friday, and the upcoming weekend, this 4th of July weekend, we're going to watch as temperatures begin to climb back to the normal range once again, breaking back into the 80s across our inland valleys, mostly in the 70s by the weekend along the coastline. Let's check in on traffic. It is 6:10 right now on the clock. Live look at our maps here shows that there's actually a handful of spots to take you to. Quite a busy start to our Monday morning here. There's a handful of things up in North County, but I want to focus in on what we have closer to the downtown area. First thing to mention is on the 5. It's in the East Village area. There's some debris partially blocking the on-ramp from Imperial Avenue. Second thing to mention, same thing here with debris on the road. Right lane is blocked in Tierra Santa on the 15 southbound right after Arrow Drive. Luckily, volume right now is really mild. There are not a lot of people out on the roads already, but CHP on scene at both of these trying to make sure that they are able to clear it before that volume really starts to pick up. Here's a live look at the southbound 5 at Harbor Drive. Pretty smooth in both directions so far this morning. Now let's take a look at your border wait times. Right now, 6:11 on the clock. It is a 170-minute wait at the San Ysidro Port of Entry. Could take you up to 3 hours to get across there. When we look at the Otay Mesa Port of Entry, you should be able to get across much, much faster. Only going to take about 45 minutes to get across at that Port of Entry.